Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion, and we're looking at something a little bit special today. I wasn't planning on anything until Monday, but you know what? Sometimes things come along and they just have to be done there and then, which is one of those cases, as you can see, that you should know this is Final Fight. And you'll also be pleased to know it's on the Amiga 1200, which should give you an idea of what is about to hit your screens. Now, if you're an avid fan of Final Fight like I am, then you will know that the Amiga version that we had by, I think it was US Gold, I think, did not do a great job. There was a lot of animation frames missing. There was a lot of sound missing from the game. It just wasn't the Final Fight experience that we deserved. Until now. Now, this like I said, this kind of snuck up on us a little bit this weekend. It's literally been released a couple of days ago, so I'm not expecting it to be perfect, but I am really looking forward to getting into it. But I wanted to see if they got the intro in as well, which obviously they have, which is absolutely brilliant. So well done. And it is arcade perfect thus far. Now, I'm not expecting arcade perfection on a stock Amiga because, well, you wouldn't get that, but let's see if they've managed to update it in the way of animation and in the way of sound, because there was a lot of sound missing, like Haggar's was missing. It was in the sound files, but I don't think it ever did. And when he did the jumping pile driver, he was standing up in midair. So that animation never really finished. So, I'm very excited about this. So, you can see that Haggar's in here. We've got Cody and Guy, and the cheesy scripts in there as well, which is brilliant. Like it so far. So, I mean, but this is just static images. We can't pass. Hello. Okay. So this is Maki or Makey. She's in Final Fight 2. So here we go. Final Fight Enhanced on the Amiga 1200. Let's get into it. But we're going to start with Haggar, because why not? Mike Haggar. The man with the amazing jumping strap. You'll see what I mean. Hopefully. Anyway, so here we are. I've left it loading at normal speed, by the way, just so if you do get the disc versions, which are completely free, and there's also a WHD load version, but I thought we'd try it on the disc today, just to see what the loading times were like. And so far, they're not unreasonable, actually, I've got to say. It comes on 2 discs. So that's 2 ADF files you're going to need. I will provide you a link in the description so you can go and download them yourself and play them. And they work on emulation. I'm using FSUAE for this today, which is why there's that nice little bezel that you can see on the screen. So, everything should be everything should be correct and present, and the resolution should be fine. So here we are. And already it looks so much better than the original Amiga version. So we're going to crack on with this, and we'll get through the review, and then I'm just going to leave it to play for a bit. I mean, look how smooth this is. This is lovely. Oh yes, the animation is intact. Love it. Right. So, all the sound effects from the arcade seem to be in here as well, which is something that was missing from the original. Oh, there we go. It's got the roar. Do the roar! It's got the roar! Okay, so the one thing I've noticed so far, which I think probably needs tweaking just slightly, is that every time the player gets hit, they're getting hit for stupid amounts of damage, which probably is just something that just needs tweaking slightly. Other than that, we've got a pretty faithful arcade representation on the A1200 here. Love it. Now, I know there's going to be people out there that say, but it's not much changed from the original. Well, there's actually loads changed. It's a hell of a lot smoother now. There seems to be more animation frames in the actual game now. The attacks certainly seem better. The movement's a lot smoother as well. Like I said, the addition to all of the arcade sounds are in here now, which is great. Now, I know there's going to be some admissions, because we can't get the full arcade experience on the Amiga. Not without jazzing it up to the point where you'd need an accelerated A1200 to run it. This runs, I believe, on a stock A1200. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But I've got mine set up as a stock 1200 on the emulation, and it's working absolutely lovely. So you're going to notice there's a lot of parallels here with the arcade version. So it's more of a sort of, it's not a remake as such. It's kind of got elements of the Final Fight and Final Fight 2, which I like. And we're going to try and go through a few characters with you as well. So if I do die, well, I think we get... I don't even know how it works. We'll figure it out when we die. Because it's not a case of if, it's when. But I'm going to go through as much as I can in the time allotted. I'll give you about 25 minutes, I guess. And then if you like what you see, go and get it yourself. Because, by God, this is the Amiga version of Final Fight that we deserved back in the day. And if this is the quality of games we're expecting now, I mean, 2024 has the potential to be such a good year for the Amiga. As well as everything else, to be fair. There's going to be a lot of games coming through the pipe. Like, you've still got the full version of Rastan to come. We've still got Robocop the arcade to come. We've got a lot of stuff that's coming. And if this is the way that that 2024 is going to kickstart itself off, then I am exceedingly excited about what we're going to see in the near future. Now, if the guy that does this did this game can actually do Street Fighter 2, then that would be something absolutely phenomenal. Because I could have a Street Fighter 2 rendition like this all day long on the Amiga. So if you're up for the challenge, and if you're watching this video, of course, then wouldn't it be great if you could get Street Fighter 2? Because that was another game that sadly kind of went down the lines of great graphics but absolute pants gameplay, which this has remedied completely. It is so good, and it's actually very faithful to the arcade version as well, which is even better. Because that's why we invested in them in the first place. We wanted the arcade versions on our Amigas at home. And the Amiga, as you can see, is more than capable of running a game like this. There you go, let's play the new characters. So it does load the characters in, as you can see, but it's not a massive loading time, I don't think. Let's see. So we're looking about... probably about 10 seconds, which isn't bad, considering. Okay, so she's quite quick on the attacks, which is good. And they all got special moves as well. We're going to go through sort of the usual criteria with the time allotted as well. So we'll look at the graphics first, which are absolutely incredible. They are pretty much arcade perfect to what you would see in Final Fight on the arcade, which is fantastic. With the colour scheme and everything else, the smooth scrolling, everything else that they've done has just blown the original release out of the water. Now the loading times so far have actually been quite good, and that's it. That's one loading time there between levels. Now you can get the WHD load of this, which will probably eliminate a lot of this loading as well. So if you do fancy playing it on WHD load, you can get that version as well. I will see if I can include a link to that as well, but there we go. It's just really, really good fun as well. So, okay, there's a tiny bit of slowdown on attacks when there's a few people on the screen, but all in all, can't complain. Nice, smooth walking animations. Look at the size of the sprites as well is really impressive, considering that there's very little slowdown in this. From what you might expect from big sprites and lots of them on the screen at the same time. Now I think there's about 6 sprites that you can have on screen at once. I'm not sure. I've not really counted them as we've been going along, but you know, either way, I mean, look at the size of Andor. He's always been a bit of a big fella, but you know, it's impressive. It really is impressive, and it's nice to see the A1200 getting a bit of love as well, which is even nicer. So lots of things to come this year. Looking forward to all of them. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So a lot of the arcade game included in this release as well, which is even better. So we're going to move on to sound now, and as I keep saying, a lot of the sound effects from the arcade were included on the discs, but they weren't actually used. I don't know whether that was an oversight or whether there was supposed to be an A1200 enhanced version back then, but they never saw the light of day, which was a great shame. But all the sound effects pretty much are here, which is brilliant. Obviously you can see there has been a little bit of sacrifice between levels, whereas in the arcade version, snares and all that, where scene transitions that you'd see the characters walk off, it kind of just pauses the screen and then loads the next level in, which is absolutely fine. Because, you know, we're not on an arcade board, we're on an A1200. But the loading screens and the loading times are so minimal, you're not really going to notice much of a breakup in your game, which is even better. So lots of decent sound effects. You've got the arcade soundtrack in the background as well, which is great. It's nice to have sound effects and music at the same time. Great job. And this is an absolute joy, ladies and gents. This is absolute joy. Controls are really easy as well, and it supports 2-button joysticks as well, which is quite nice. So as the screen is fairly big to navigate, you've got up, down, left and right, and then you have jump and you have attack. So you have the pleasure of all of that going on. And if you want to grab someone, you just walk into them and then you sort of grab automatically and throw them. It doesn't always engage, so that might be another little glitch that needs looking at, but it does work. I think my main gripe so far, and it's only a minor thing because it's probably something that can be quite easily fixed, is just that you take an unreasonable amount of punishment from like one hit. Whereas when you hit them, it takes a little bit of a time to get them down. They have health bars the same size as you sometimes, but they hit you 3 shots, 4 shots and you're dead. You can hit them 5, 6, 7 times and they're still not down. I think that's something that can be addressed, and you know, but this is the first release, so you know there will be iterations of it in the future, I imagine, where there's bug fixes and whatnot. So that's just my little opinion there, but it's fantastic. I really, really like this, and I do encourage you arcade enthusiasts to go and grab a copy of this and give it a try yourselves. I think you will enjoy the game, especially if you're side-scrolling beat-em-up fans. If you've never played Final Fight before, here's a good place to start, by the way. But yeah, it's nice they've included this character, because she was in Street Fighter. She was in Final Fight 2. So she wasn't actually an original character in Final Fight 1. So it's quite nice to have an additional character to play as well, which is good. Looks like it's 2 players simultaneous as well, which is even better. I can't really test that to see if there's any slowdown with a couple of characters on the screen, but it does look like you can do it. So if you've got a couple of friends, get yourselves plugged in and get yourselves going through Metro City. Metro City? I think is it Metro City? Because that sounds like it's Detroit City, Robocop, isn't it? So yeah, Metro City, get yourself in and beating up scum. In fact, you've got all the weapons. The only weapon I haven't seen so far is the katana. But again, some things have had to make a cut just to get everything running smoothly. But you know what? That's a small price to pay for a decent bloody game. So there we are. So playability, it's absolutely on the money. So it's just literally, I'm just blown away by this. Sorry, but so yeah, it's actually very, very good. All the characters so far, I think there might be a couple of exceptions to the NPCs that haven't made the cut, but at the end of the day, you've got about 90% of the mob types in here, so that's not a bad omission really, is it? So we've got a lot of the game in place. I'd say we've probably got about 90% of the original Final Fight characters, background music and everything else in there. Cutscenes I don't know about. So I think it's after I think his name's Sodom. I think that's where you beat up the car. So we'll try and get through that at least, and give you guys an idea of how that pans out. So that leads us nicely on to replay value. Oh my god, do you know what, Final Fight, any arcade game really that was worth its salt, even if you completed it, was worth coming back to play. Do you know what I'd love to see as well, actually, is a new version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade, and someone having a bash at the Simpsons arcade, which we never got on the Amiga either. It would be just cool to have those games that we never had. So yeah, the games that never were, we could actually say, yep, the games that never were will actually become. Because that would be really good. Imagine playing the Simpsons arcade on the Amiga. It would be pretty much arcade perfect. And even the Turtles arcade would be graphically spot on, I think. But yeah, if there's anyone out there who fancies a challenge, go on, have a go. So yeah, replay, absolutely. I would come back and replay this numerous times. It'd be nice, I think, as well, to add options of difficulty. Maybe that'd be something the developer can have a look at and have some difficulty levels in there. So if people find it too easy, and maybe there could be an easy, hard, easy, medium, and hard mode, or an arcade mode, or something like that, just to you know, because the time as well, I've noticed is something that ticks down really slowly. Whether that's intentional, I don't know. But it's almost impossible not to run out of time. But I can't remember if the arcade was like that. That's something I need to go and revisit. But this is absolutely brilliant. In fact, I'm going to have to do a review of the original Amiga version at some point, just so you can see what we actually got compared to this, because this is night and day. This absolutely takes a big dump on the original Amiga version from a great height. So there you go. Age range any, because it's just pick up a joystick, punch and punch and punch and punch. That's all you need to do. Oh, the car stage is here. Here we go. Oh, this should be fun. Well, there we are. Now, on the arcade version, you had multiple points of destruction on the car, and I think the car actually sort of moved. But obviously, you know, again, the sacrifice is being made for the sake of a better game experience. We are going all out here. So, perfect. Yeah. So, oh, an extra life as well, even better. And that's included. Excellent. Yeah, attention to detail is absolutely fantastic. So yes, if you enjoyed Final Fight on the arcade, then I'm going to say go out and get this game immediately. It's costing you nothing, so go and get it. Give it a play. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Even if you've seen the arcade version of Final Fight before and you've now just seen this, maybe you owned Final Fight on the Amiga back in the day, make a comparison. Let's start a good chat up in the comments below. So yes. Just another quick thing as well. Thank you to all the support that you guys have given me over the last few days. It was an emotional time, and I'm hoping to start the healing process. God knows how long it's going to take, but you know what? Getting back in the saddle here. This was a good game to get started on, so I'm hoping to bring you much more content. I've had my super snazzy broadband fitted yesterday, which is really, really exciting for me, because it means my videos will now upload at a significantly faster speed, and I won't be sitting around twiddling my thumbs for 45 minutes. Yes, that's how long it used to take. I'll let you know in the next video, if I remember, how long this takes to upload. But anyway, I'm going to leave you some footage now, and I hope you've enjoyed the review, and this is the first of many to come. So thanks ever so much, everybody, for tuning in. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, and I will be back very soon with something new for you to have a look at. Until then, my friends, you keep it retro, and as always, it's bye for now. Bye-bye!